how do we shift that narrative of like motherhood equals depletion, motherhood equals, being deprived or feeling like I have to go last, and instead switch it to be like, when I go first, that trickles down to my family and my baby.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spoil Your Baby. Today, I am so excited to have Stephanie Adler with us. She is a longtime colleague and friend. She's a functional health practitioner who has amazing insights to share with us in this season with our babies. So, Steph, welcome and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Greer. I'm so excited to be here and really just like love the Spoil Your Baby podcast and movement in all the ways. So just, thanks again for having me. Hi, everyone. If we haven't met yet, my name is Stephanie Adler, and I'm a functional health practitioner, specifically a functional diagnostic nutritionist. My specialty is helping women everywhere from preconception, fertility, pregnancy, postpartum nutrition, all the way through baby's first foods, because I so know in every bone in my body, and I've seen it with myself and I've seen it with hundreds of women that I've worked with, that a nourished mother is a nourished family. And it starts before our babies are born, but we can come in at any point along the way and really make significant change that changes the entire course of wellness, mental wellness, physical wellness, and beyond for our families for generations to come. And so it is my true honor and pleasure to do this work, and specifically around moms after becoming a mom myself in the last couple of years, really understanding the unique challenges for this population and being able to help women really thrive through it.
Yeah, it's so important. I was just thinking of myself in those times where I was often pouring from a nearly empty cup in a lot of ways. And just thinking of that idea that you can feel like your cup is full, that you can feel like you're taking care of yourself and be able to manage it, right? Because it's a hard time for so many of us, right? Yeah.
And I don't say this to be braggy in any way. I'm saying what I'm about to say to show women the light, to be like, this is a possibility. Look, I had a very koala, like Velcro baby. He wanted and needed me all the time. And I gave him that. Like, I was fully committed to the nurture revolution way, and I gave that to him. And I'm not going to say that there haven't been hard moments in my almost 2 years of motherhood. And I have felt capable of dealing with all of the hard moments. I have felt energized. I have almost rarely felt truly sleep deprived, having never slept through the night in the entire 22 months that my son's been alive. And I attribute this not to luck or not to having a quote unquote like easy baby. I know we hate that language, but just to try and make it understandable here, I equate this to the way that I intentionally nourished myself, and not nourishing myself was never an option. Like, it didn't exist. It wasn't on the multiple choice. And so when that is the way that I'm guiding and leading my life, it allows me to not only feel more like myself and feel happier and be able to enjoy these precious moments of motherhood, but it also actually helps me show up for my family better. And so I think it's just so understated how pouring from a full cup and having your own nourishment taken care of first is necessary in motherhood.
Yeah, I completely agree. First of all, I think the way that you communicate this is so inspiring and so beautiful, right? Really, to see what you share and to be like, wow, a nourished mother, is thriving in so many beautiful ways. Like, it's an incredible thing to see. I just love it. So thank you for sharing all of that with all of us. And then the other thing I was thinking of is I'm doing this course right now on birth and birth experience and all this kind of stuff. And just thinking about how it's so downplayed, the whole thing. Like, we grow an entire human that starts with 2 eggs that we somehow make into this incredibly complex, beautiful system and human through all of our nourishment. And then we give birth. And we birth a baby and a placenta, an entire organ that we also grow, and then nourish our baby through breastfeeding if we're breastfeeding, or otherwise nourishing our baby with our bodies and all the physical and emotional things that go into it. And why is it a shocker that we might need special nourishment, special nutrition? Many of us, hypothesize to be deficient or depleted postpartum in a lot of things, right?
So there's this massive mineral transfer that happens during that entire process you just described. And one thing that I actually love to think about is that every indigenous culture that has been studied has sacred foods for preconception, pregnancy, postpartum, and young children. And they went to great effort and great length to secure them. Like, this is intuitive knowledge, ancestral knowledge that we've known, but have wiggled our way out of in the, very medicalized, very westernized way that we've started to view this really transformational part of our life, right?
Yeah.
This like huge rite of passage. So yes, there is this massive mineral transfer that happens. And I'm going to say something that is a little bit like sometimes hard for people to hear, but it's pretty crazy. They've done studies on siblings, and what they've found is that, generally speaking, if people are ecologically breastfeeding, it's typically about 2 to 3 years between babies. And what we consider ancestrally is like 2 years between pregnancies is around the amount of time that the body probably needed to replenish.
Yeah.
And we know that mom has been building up her stores like her whole life, right? And then that first baby gets the largest mineral transfer. And then if we're not replenishing between pregnancies, they've done studies that show that firstborn children tend to have significantly higher IQs. And when we just start to think about what is happening and what we are building up and giving, if we're not intentionally replenishing it, and then you go on to have 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, in some cultures, the more kids you have, the more teeth you lose.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
the minerals transfer. And so, I mean, there are a few things that I think every single parent can do who's going through this process to really be intentional about replenishing those stores from the beginning. There are some of those sacred foods. We can get into them if you think that would be helpful for people, but really starting to think about how do we shift that narrative of motherhood equals depletion, motherhood equals, being deprived or feeling like I have to go last, and instead switch it to be when I go first, that trickles down to my family and my baby.
I thought you were also going to say it equals postpartum depression and anxiety, because I know that's also tied, right? That is also tied to how we're nourished.
I mean, it's everything. There are circumstances in which it's not this, but a lot of times it is women, struggling to make enough milk. I see this all the time. And, the recommendations that come on all these, the one thing that surprised me about becoming a mom is how much I was going to love Facebook groups. That is the funniest thing that has happened to me. And I'm on all these, breastfeeding Facebook groups. And the things that I see people talking about that they're doing to boost their milk supply astound me. It's eat Oreos, drink Pedialyte, all of these things.
Wow.
Guys, it really comes down to just, yes, your body is going to break down its own cells to create nourishment. And so if we don't have enough of that nourishment to begin with, the body can struggle to make enough milk. So, I mean, it's everything from milk supply to postpartum anxiety and depression to the way you sleep. I mean, it's the way your body heals.
Just feeling fatigued, right? Energized or fatigued. Yeah.
Totally. But even think about if someone is going to have a surgery, they're going to get their meniscus, torn meniscus sewn up or something. They lay in bed and someone takes care of them. They have a nurse. They bring them lots of soup and healing foods. When you give birth to a baby, you have a wound the size of a dinner plate on the inside of your uterus.
Yeah.
Right? How do we encourage that healing? If you gave birth vaginally, we have all of those tissues that are trying to come back. If you gave birth via C-section, we have all of those tissues that are trying to heal and come back together too. And so, I mean, we know that there's a blueprint for foods that help our body heal, that improve our immunity, that have better function in our body. And when you change the form, you change function. So if we change the form of the foods that people and women, especially at this season of life, are supposed to be eating, what is therefore the function going to be of motherhood?
Yeah. I love that. I love that. My sister-in-law always says, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. And it's true. And I think, something coming up for me was like, it sounds like the work that you're doing, I know you help with fertility as well. So obviously that's impacted too. So nourishing yourself for fertility, nourishing yourself leading up to pregnancy, while you're pregnant, postpartum, while you have your little ones, in the gap between children, right?
Yeah.
All so important. And I'm thinking like for a hurdle for a lot of modern moms is we have to believe that we are important and deserving of this kind of care. And these incredible transformations and experiences we're going through are also so important and need reverence and resources and time and all these kinds of things too, because our modern world is basically just like, get it done, bounce back, no one wants to hear about it, move on. Right. And we're a movement pushing very hard against that. Right. So you ever see that in your practice?
I mean, all the time. And the
Yeah.
way that I counter it is convenience at what cost, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we actually, like, what is the cost of doing everything in this convenient way, of doing everything quickly and fast, and not just to our physical health, but also to our mental and emotional well-being? I mean,
Yeah.
when you ask old people, like this is like they've polled people like in their 80s and 90s, and they ask them, what is the best time of your life? They almost all say when they had young children.
100%.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that it is the hardest time of arguably our lives, right? It is incredibly challenging and testing, and you have to pull patients from reserves you didn't know that you had, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that is actually the reason why it is the happiest and the most fulfilling. I think that our culture is begging for actual like for fulfillment that comes from doing something that is hard.
Yeah.
And so what is a better thing to pour into and invest into that might be a little bit like, contrary to the convenience culture than your health, than your well-being, than your happiness, your baby's happiness, your family's well-being, right?
Yeah.
And so if that means doing things the slow, old-fashioned way, or spending some extra time in the kitchen with your baby strapped to your back, or, foregoing other things that maybe, your family used to do or like, to be able to hire a postpartum chef who can truly nourish you, right? And trading that at this time to really prioritize that, what could be a better investment is the way that I really counter that.
I completely agree. I always bring this up. I probably said this last time we spoke, but my friends, one of the gifts they got me postpartum was to have meals and snacks for like a week. Cool. And I will never forget that week. Every time I opened up the soup or the tea or the congee, or it was the first 40 days that was their Mother Bees catering. I was like, I feel so loved. Like someone like made this with love, and I felt like a queen for that week. And you just imagine, right, having that treatment extend.
I love that.
It just
Another thing that I've been seeing a lot recently that I think is really nice is that instead of a baby shower, or if it's like your second, or third child, like instead of a sprinkle or whatever, is inviting a few friends over. And you guys like batch prep cooking for, an afternoon, and preparing like 20 or 30 meals that all go in the freezer.
Yeah.
I think that that's a really awesome thing to do. And something that I did too when I want to say probably like 30 weeks and on, is twice a week, anything that I made double, and then I put half of it in the freezer. So any like soup or curry or anything that would just, freeze well.
Yeah.
And that really set us up for like the first couple of weeks. And that can be really helpful. I also have, if anyone wants to send me a message and just send me a DM on Instagram after this podcast, I have a postpartum packet that I made for myself and that I sometimes will, clients will use and sometimes gift to people, where it has like a shopping list and a bunch of recipes and a letter to guests about how you can be helpful. And, being able to like give someone who's coming into town to visit a shopping list that's already made with all of your staples, right? Yeah. And then at the bottom, it says, pick one of the recipes in this packet and get the ingredients for that. And how you can help is by making this for us, right? Like making it easy for people, all with deeply nourishing, nutrient dense, mineral rich foods Like, this is how you do it. Like,
Yeah.
step by step,
I
practice
love
it.
it. Yeah, I always, well, I'm going to add a deep freeze to the list of things I think people should have, like get a king size bed because you're probably going to have your baby in your bed, and a deep freeze, right? Because some people are like, oh, how do I freeze all this? But that is the best investment, I think.
For sure.
I love that. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So one other thing actually that came up is this is not just about postpartum. We're not talking about what we typically think the first 3 or 4 months, right?
No.
Our babies are babies for 3 years. You know, if you are wanting to replenish and have another baby or just replenish for your own, process, breastfeeding, whatever it is, the whole 3 years. So if you're listening to this and your baby's 2 or 3 or even like older, right? Like we could go depleted for many, many years, right? We could be 10 years postpartum and still need help, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so important to remember. So you're not left behind if you didn't do this, in the early days or whatever.
Never too early, never too late.
Completely. So yeah, will you share with us, for those of us curious, like what is a good way to start?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we start?
Yeah. So I kind of want you to start thinking about the way that you eat is like making deposits or withdrawals from a bank account. Okay. So every time you eat, you have an opportunity to make a deposit. Every time you eat, there's an option to withdraw, right? Or it could kind of be something neutral. So when we eat really nutrient dense foods, and when I say nutrient dense foods, some of the foods are sometimes a little bit shocking to people because they're often contrary to what they've been quote unquote like told is healthy or should be eating.
Mm-hmm.
For women, for people in this stage of life particularly, but for most people too, I'm talking about animal fats. Eat more butter. Like I have so
love
much butter. My favorite snack in the middle of the night nursing, and honestly, like even beyond that, but was I made these like, very like not really having any sugar, banana bread muffin things. And then I would have my husband put like 2 inches of butter packed on top. And it was like the best thing. So lots of butter, animal fats like lard and tallow and schmaltz and chicken fat, things like that. Liver is one of our most powerhouse foods. When you look at the animal kingdom, it's so interesting. So the, male lions kind of just sit around while the women lions hunt. And then they come and the male lions eat first, and then they leave everything else for the women and the babies. Not saying I condone this, but you know what the male lions eat? They eat all the organs and they leave the muscle meat for everyone else.
Interesting.
Like they intuitively know, it's instinct. Like these are the most nutrient dense foods. I'm going to have these first.
Yeah.
So and when we look again at cultures around the world, seafood, so important. Having all of those trace minerals, iodine, seaweeds, things like that. One of my favorite things to keep in your pantry of easy snacks is a can of smoked oysters. It sounds a little funny, but on some crackers, it's divine and it is so nourishing for your body. Cool. Other things that maybe are a little bit more palatable to people are like thinking about really sodium and potassium rich foods. So sodium is a little bit unique. If you are listening to this and your salt has a little umbrella and raincoat on it, the little Morton salt, I want you to go to your kitchen and take it and throw it in the trash. Okay. That is not real salt. All of the minerals have been taken out, sold to a supplement company, and then they add iodine and a few other chemicals back in. Have colorful salt that's pink or blue or lightly gray that has some color and some like feel to it also. Redmond's real salt, Celtic sea salt, Baja Gold. I mean, there's a million good brands, but real salt. Cool. Women forget that like salt is the source of life. Think about all of the wars that were fought over salt.
I had a book called Salt that traced like all of human history about it. Yeah.
Totally. And like, so we give sodium a bad name, but sodium is bad when we change the form, right? So if you're getting most of your sodium out of something that comes out of a package that's from not real salt, yes, it's not going to be good for you. But almost every single, so I run hair mineral analysis tests on myself and my clients. I was running them on myself all throughout my pregnancy and so far postpartum. And every single mom that I see comes back deficient in sodium. And sodium is what is fueling our adrenals and our, therefore our energy and our life force. So eat more salt. Everyone should be getting about 2 teaspoons minimum a day of real good salt. Put it on your table, salt your food afterwards. So valuable. And then potassium. making adrenal cocktails are like such a nourishing and yummy moment. I think for moms, again, no matter like, I will say, I felt like the first year for me in my life and my baby was much easier than toddlerhood. Like
Yeah.
sometimes in toddlerhood, I'm just like, oh my
Can't
God,
sit
like
down.
you were a lot, cutie pie. Whereas like it was, and he was little, in a newborn, I could just like sit there and look at him and love him, you
Yeah.
know?
That when you put them down, you know where they're going to be.
Instead, I walk away for 1 minute and he's like hanging upside down off of the chandelier, basically, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
how did you get up there? So, anyways, I find adrenal cocktails to be like my like me moment when I'm having that. And it's not a real cocktail, guys. It's, coconut water, citrus, some cream of tartar for potassium. If you add some salt, and if you want to get fancy, you could add like collagen or, coconut milk or something like that.
Yeah.
But it tastes like a creamsicle. It's so yummy. It gives you energy and it's so nourishing for your adrenals and super mineral rich. So like those are so fun and something that I've like loved and taught. I drink them a lot in pregnancy and a lot in toddlerhood. I'm really nourishing these adrenals as I run after my very fast child.
Yeah. And having a little treat like that as a little break in the day is so nourishing for us. So you can just catch our breath, look outside or maybe be outside and just, take something. Yeah. It's going to be good.
And I'm going to add one more just really quick, meat stock. And the reason I'm going to add it is because one, it's so easy to make. Everyone thinks that it's hard. All of my clients are like, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. And then they do it and they're like, that was the easiest thing ever.
Yeah.
All you need is a full chicken. I mean, you can do it with other parts too, but like to make your life so easy, mama, a full chicken in a pot of water, 4 cups or a quart of water for every, and I don't know how to translate that into whatever else, for every pound of meat. And you let it simmer until it falls off the bone. Usually that's about like 2 to 2.5 hours. You shred up the chicken. You have chicken for the week, amazing protein snacks added on top of salads and quesadillas, on top in soups, whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And that broth is so mineral rich and so collagen rich, and it's so good for our tissues, and it's so amazing. It's also amazing for babies when they're starting solids, and for, beyond life, my son drinks like 8 ounces of meat stock a day. So if you could do one thing, try that. It's like meal prepping galore. You just have all this meat to use, and you also have this really beautiful stock that you can use for soups or sip it, just plain.
I love it. I love it. It's so great. My husband has always made broths, and I'm so grateful. Like even before we had our son. So I was like, up it, more
every day.
Keep it going. Keep it going. And yeah, you can do so many things, so many recipes as well, right? Other than obviously you can just drink it out of a cup too, which is great.
Totally.
Amazing. Yeah. I love that you're shining the light on a lot of those things. I think those are things that people don't hear. And so that's so helpful for people.
It will turn your world around. Yeah. It will totally transform your experience in motherhood. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that like, it gets to feel good. It gets to be fun. Like we only get to do this beautiful life once. Let's make the most of it.
Love it. You got chills. Awesome, Steph. Well, thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your wisdom. If people want to work with you or find out more about your programs, where can they find you?
Yeah. So Instagram is like my primary place I hang out. Come say hi, Stephanie with an F, Stefanie, Adler. And like, I really invite you, if you took one thing away from this podcast today, come tell me about it. Like, it means the world to me to connect with other moms and other women who are paving a new way for all of us to thrive. And like, I just love building community around this. And I read all my own messages. And so like, please come say hi. Tell me what the biggest takeaway was for you today. Send me a picture of your meat stock or your adrenal cocktail. And we'll cheers together. That would be awesome. If you do want to do like a hair mineral analysis test and get like clarity on your specific mineral needs after that massive mineral transfer, and really get a path to feeling way more energized and just better in your body. That's something I love doing with moms. So connect with me about that, or just, other ways to work together. We can always talk about them, but just excited to share the love.
Beautiful. I love it. I love your offer of connection as well, because we just like create those invisible strings that connect us, and moms, we can be so isolated and lonely. So that's all, reach out. reach out and say hi to everyone, and don't hesitate. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you again. We'll connect soon. Thanks, Steph.
Bye.